Let's be honest. Most financial problems are really not complicated. They're just, well, you're being lazy. I'm sorry to be mean, but that's the truth a lot of the times. You're not broken, but you're just avoiding the boring stuff. I mean, of course we do that. We're human, right? And so I see these habits happening over and over again. And I just thought, let's do a video and talk about them, get them out in the open, see if you fit any of these. Maybe you don't do all of them, but maybe you do one or two of them. And let's see how we can fix them. So today we're going to go through the 5 lazy money habits I see most often with people. There's no judgment. We're just trying to get some solutions for you. So if that sounds good, stick around. That's our video. I'm just going to introduce myself very quickly. I'm Lisa. I'm a financial advisor. I have been for over 15 years, and I help people get to financial freedom as quickly as possible. And as we work together, we try to avoid some of these common mistakes so that you can get to your goals faster, right? Okay, so let's jump into lazy habit number 1, not knowing where your money is going. Okay, this is a big one. I talk about this a lot in videos, but it's worth repeating over and over and over again. The problem is you earn it, you spend it, month ends, and it repeats. You're not tracking, you're not aware, you're just living off of vibes. And it's okay for a while, but pretty soon it's not okay. And we'll get to why that's not okay in the habit number 4. But thinking I'm just doing okay, that's not a plan. And the problem is that technically you are living paycheck to paycheck. I don't care how much money you make. If you are not saving anything, if you are not investing anything, if you're not putting it someplace for your future, you're living paycheck to paycheck. It's the honest truth. So the solution is pick 1 month to track everything. Yes, everything. Now, this can be done in an app, a spreadsheet, or just a notes app on your phone, or just a piece of paper and pencil. That's totally fine too. Now, the idea is awareness. It's not perfection, and it's not to slap yourself on the hand and say, I shouldn't have bought that, and beat yourself up. That's not the idea. It's just being aware of what you're spending your money on. Once you see it, you can fix it. So just start with month 1, and maybe you'll get addicted to it, like I have. I look at my accounts all the time. And that leads into lazy habit number 2, ignoring your investment accounts, ignoring your bank accounts too, to be honest. The problem is you signed in years ago and you never looked at it again. And you don't know what you're invested in. You might be getting the match, you might not be getting the match because you don't know because you don't look at it. That's a problem. Here's the solution. You ready? It's really complicated. Log in. I'm serious. Just log into your accounts. It's all it takes. That way you can see technically what you're invested in. Maybe you don't understand what you're invested in, but every 401k has somebody you can call. If it's at an institution, even if you don't have an advisor there, you can call and ask, what is the fund I'm in? If you're interested, you don't even have to go that far though. Just log in and see that you're contributing, if your contributions are actually getting invested or if it's sitting in cash. I don't know how many times I've heard people say it's been years and it's just been sitting in cash because I didn't know. You don't want that happening. So set a calendar reminder to review once every 3 months or quarter, and just log in and look at it. You don't have to note, is it up or it's down or any of that stuff. That is really the reason that you're not looking at them. Just log in and make sure the inner workings are happening right. Okay, and then when it comes to the match, people say, should I be going up to the match? Should I not? That's really dependent on your plan, but I think you should know if you're contributing enough to get to the match, if that's part of your planning, right? All right, lazy habit number 3 is avoiding the conversation with your partner. Okay, we don't want to talk about money because it's awkward. And honestly, it's not sexy, right? We don't think of it as sexy talk. And if we're going to have that time together with our partner, we don't really want to talk about that. However, I disagree with that. Okay. And the problem is that one person handles it and the other one usually has no clue. And that can build resentment, and surprises happen that you might not want. I have a whole video on this if you want to dig into that a little deeper. And that's really unsexy, right? Resentment and surprises that are not good. That's not good. So here's how you can make this an actually fun conversation is have a monthly money date. Pretty soon, if you're having fun with it, you don't even need to do it. Like my husband and I just have conversations, out of the blue about money, and that's totally fine. But, set it up. Wine is optional. I encourage bourbon, but that's, you do you. And review your spending goals, upcoming expenses together, and start talking about what you want, all the fun stuff, the trips, the goals, all that stuff. Focus on some positive stuff. Don't just sit there and say, you spent this and you spent that, and I'm uncomfortable with this. Start with the fun stuff. All that other stuff will come out in the end, and it will be fine, right? But you're not there to blame, you're just there to align and to get on the same page about money and to make it a habit. This is not a crisis meeting. So again, eventually those monthly meetings are going to turn into just small talk with your spouse. Okay. I don't know if it's small talk, but it just becomes much more natural. That's what you want. All right. Lazy habit number 4 is no emergency fund. So life happens, your car needs XYZ part, you have a surprise bill, and then you go into panic mode. And what do? You whip out your credit card and you'll say, I'll pay it off later. It's okay. And then you're building credit card debt. And credit card debt is some of the worst debt you can have because they have such high interest rates. So you need an emergency fund. I don't care what any of those financial gurus say. An emergency fund is the difference between panic and knowing that you are controlling it and that you can handle things that are thrown at you. That's the bottom line. And so start small. Maybe it's $100 this month that you're putting away in something boring. That's not invested in the market. Boring. Sitting at the bank. It's okay. And you want to set up $100 a month, up it to 500, maybe it's 1,000. You find out what you can do because you're going to look at your expenses and you know how much you can save. You're going to automate it to whatever amount you know you can handle every month. And you want to put it in an account that's separate from your traditional account that you're paying your bills and stuff, because that way you're not tempted to touch it. You go, oops, I spent it all. You don't want that. Yeah, you are going to check it with all the other accounts, but you want it to be separate from your, regular bank account that money is going in and out of. Build 3 to 6 months of expenses. So that's why that monthly expense is really important to know. And that's a good start. Should you have more? I don't know. It depends on your plan. But 3 months, I always say, is the minimum I would recommend for, I would say, majority of people. All right, lazy habit number 5 is waiting for someday. I'll figure it out when I make more money. I'm too young to think about that. I'll deal with it after some event. Usually it's after the kids go to college. That's not a good one. That's not a good one to wait for because it's often too late. That someday really never comes and you are playing catch-up mode. And the amount I tell people that they need to save when they're much younger working with me versus older is significantly different. And when you're older and you're trying to make up time, it can be overwhelming. It could be just so overwhelming, and you're so in that mind space of beating yourself up because you should have done this earlier. Just start. Whether that's talking to a financial advisor or taking a course or reading a book or using the many tools that are online for you or on your apps or whatever you find. Start small. Start building a plan for yourself. Like I said, that could have an advisor attached to it or not. That's up to you. But the best time to start was yesterday. And the second best time is to start today. So as a quick wrap up, remember, we're going to track. We're going to check in on our accounts at least quarterly. That means at least one time every 3 months. We're going to do money talks with our spouses or partners. We're going to build that emergency fund if you don't have one. And we're going to actually start to build a plan, either with help from an advisor or not. And remember, being lazy with money isn't a character flaw. It's just a habit that you have the ability to change. So let's change it. Pick one thing from this list and do it this week. Do it. Don't wait, right? That's habit number 5. Don't wait. Remember, financial freedom starts with small, consistent actions. Okay, so until next time, stay safe, stay strong, be kind to one another, and we will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.